It's honours even on the opening day following the 0-0 draw with Gillingham. We're here with Coventry United Ladies manager Jay Bradford. Jay, a scoreless draw on the opening day, that can't have been what you were hoping for.
No, obviously not. You know, we came here looking for 3 points and a positive performance, and did we get either of those things? Possibly not. First half, certainly we were not good enough by our standards. We weren't at the races. But second half, you know, we came out and showed a little bit of character, which is what I asked for. A little bit of desire to go and win the ball higher up. And you know, we did that. We then just, I think, lacked that creativity in front of goal to go and actually nick the game.
Although there was a strong squad, there were several first teamers missing today, the likes of Nat Haig, Rosie McDonald and Amber Hughes, all unavailable. But even without stars like these, this should have been a simple win, really, shouldn't it?
Well, you know, I trust every member of my squad, so even when we're missing a few, yes, I'd still expect us to go out and put on a performance. I thought Gillingham, you know, they were good. They did a job on us. For me, they set up like they wanted a point, and that's what they got. So, you know, you say on paper we should maybe beat them, but they grafted. We didn't. They worked hard. 45 minutes first half. We didn't. So, you know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we expected something that didn't quite happen today.
Well, there seemed to be a lack of work down the wide positions. I mean, it was a very congested central midfield, so without going wide, was it an impossible task to score?
Yeah, you know, and we talked about where we would get our joy, and we said we would get it in wide areas, and I think when both Formo and Ali got it, they were positive, and they did cause problems for Gillingham. It just wasn't often enough.
Well, last season United won here by 9 goals. Now this year, it's a 0-0 draw. Did you expect this level of improvement from Gillingham, and also where does this United side rank to that of last year?
In regards to Gillingham, like I say, you know, they're set up in a certain way and they got what they wanted, so full credit to them for that. We can only do what we can control, I guess. So, you know, this squad's a good squad. It's not that different from last year's squad, so we need to be a little bit cleverer in front of goal, and we need to be a little bit more patient when we've got the ball, and just a little bit more savvy. You know, again, we've had a poor referee. He's let us down massively. You know, we're lucky there not to have 2 or 3 leg breaks. So when those things are going against you, my kind of word to the girls would be don't lose. If you can't score, don't concede. And you know, we did that same. We got a valuable point.
Well, away from today's game, expectations, of course, at United are always high, and this season is no different with both sides, the men and the women. What do you want to achieve this season? What are the expectations?
I want to win the league. I'm here to win. You know, I'm not here to just have a nice time and, you know, maybe win a few matches, draw a few matches. I want to win. I wouldn't give up my time if I didn't want to win, and the girls wouldn't do that either. So we are disappointed today, but I think we have to look at the bigger picture and look at the fact that it's the opening day and take the point as a positive. You know, we didn't perform, we weren't very good, but we didn't lose, and I think last year we maybe would have done that. You know, I think back to some of the games where we just didn't perform last year and we come away with nothing, and I think we'll look back at this game and we'll learn from it, and it'll be a point that we go, yeah, that was a good one.
Some would say it's an easier task to win the league this year. Former front runners like Charlton and Palace have all left the Southern Division, but there are still some very real threats. I mean, the likes of Watford coming down, for example, Oxford, Basildon from last year. So who do you see as United's main competition for the league title?
Everybody. I don't think there's a nailed-on team to win it like there maybe is other years. You know, whenever people look at this league, they talk about maybe 2 or 3 teams. I talk to people this year and they're talking about 6 or 7 teams. So I look at it and I think everybody can beat everybody, and points will be dropped all across the league by everybody. So I'm not worried stood here at the moment with only a point on the board, because we've got more gears and we've got more learning to do, and we'll get there. So I'd be more worried if this performance had come, you know, mid-season, but it hasn't. It's come right at the start where we can get back on it in training, we can do something about it.
Well, it's clear there's more in the tank, there's more to see from Coventry United, and part and parcel of that is the level of depth we've got now in the coaching. I mean, first team coach Joe Potter, assistant manager Katie Moran have been well publicised coming into the club. How have they settled in the first few weeks? Now you've seen Moz on the touchline, what sort of assistant manager do you think she will be? And also, what improvements have United from the players since the coaches have been brought in?
I think, you know, Joe's added a quality of coaching that we haven't seen here at Cov before. You know, she's vastly experienced in the game, and I think she brings that into every session, and she demands standards, and she demands that we do things in a certain way, and that's great because that's exactly what I want. And in regards to Maj, you know, she's someone that I trust, so when I stand next to her on the sideline, I know she's going to have my back. And you know, today she's seen a couple of things that I haven't seen, and we tidy a few things up, and you know, again, she's played at a high level, so she's got a good understanding of the game, and I think the girls are thriving in that environment. It just hasn't been produced quite how we expected it to be today, but you know, it's like I say, it's not panic stations. The staff will come back together and we'll go again this week, ready for next week's game.
There has been some key personnel leaving the club in the close season, including long-term midfielder Callum Barber, centre mid Steph Smith, Keely Davis, and of course Ali Hall. How much will these players be missed, and do you feel you've adequately replaced them?
Yeah, you know, they're good players, and obviously, you know, some of those players didn't leave because they were maybe unhappy, or you know, they leave because of other circumstances that we can't control and they can't control. So, you know, yes, we didn't want to lose anybody, but there's football, and I think for us to only lose a handful of players is a really positive thing. When I look at other teams and they've lost maybe 11 or 12 players. So for me, yeah, the squad's good. It is a good squad. We just need to perform and get on the same page, I think. And yeah, you know, the girls that we've brought in, I'm more than happy with, and I've seen glimpses of individual performances today, but only in pockets, and I need it for 90 minutes. And when we get it for 90 minutes, we'll fly.
And finally, on to next week, a big match at MK Dons, Stadium MK, a big stadium. How can you and the girls bounce back at Stadium MK next week? What improvements can you make from today's performance?
I think we need to be a little bit more aggressive in our play and kind of move the ball a little bit quicker, but you know, we have the ability to self-reflect really well. We know when we haven't done what we're supposed to have done, and we know when we haven't played as well as we need to, and that in there was just a really honest chat about what we need to do and where we need to go. So yeah, we have to bounce back next week and look for the 3 points again.
Brilliant, thank you, Jay.
Thank you.